So now that you know what EFT tapping is, and if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and play that back. It's quick, it's short, it gives you a little quick introduction into what EFT is. I am going to show you the basic tapping sequence. So how you do it is, first let me introduce you to the 9 different points. So it's essentially the side of the hand, and you could use any hand, so either side. Some people even alternate, but side of the hand, top of the head, the eyebrows, which is really your inner eyebrows, like where they start, right there. Side of the eye, under the eye, right where the bone is, under the nose, your chin, collarbones, so like I would say if these are my collarbones up here, like a couple of inches below, and you could just kind of like go around so you make sure you get the points. And then under your arm, which is about 1 hand below, right? So that's where the point that I'm hitting. Again, some people actually use both hands. And it doesn't matter. You could use one side and just tap on one side. But for here, you definitely need both of your hands, or you could actually do this. So you can still just do it with one hand. If you can't reach under, or if that's uncomfortable, you could just hit it like that on either side or both sides. So that's the tapping sequence. You might have seen this sequence done by starting on the eyebrow and ending at the top of the head. There's different variations to do it. But this is the way that I learned. This is how I got trained, and this is how I teach it. So again, side of the hand, top of the head, eyebrows, side of the eye, under the eye, chin, nose, chin, collarbones, and under the arm. And so how this works is that what you'll do next is think about the issue that you are trying to clear that's causing you some distress, some emotion. So think about that issue and think about that specific event. So if it's that you are angry right now, like what exactly is it that you're angry about? So tune into that and think 0 to 10, how angry am I right now about that thing? So let's say it's a 6. And do I feel that anywhere in my body? Some people may not, be as connected, and that is fine. But if you do feel it, where do you feel it in your body? So I'm angry and I feel that in my chest, and it feels like a 6. So what you do is then you create your setup statement, which is, even though I am angry about, my boss saying this thing, let's just, make something up. Even though I'm angry in my chest about my boss saying this thing, you pair it at the end with this affirmation: I deeply and completely accept myself. Now, out there, if you see some YouTube videos, people will use I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I deeply and completely love myself. It's all up to you. I like to start with acceptance because some people, let's be real, it is taking them a lot to actually love themselves. That's actually a big journey for some folks. So we start with, or I like to start with, just accepting myself. And even if you don't accept yourself, you could say, I am working towards accepting myself. And you could change that affirmation to whatever makes sense for you. Like in the past, I've been like, even though this thing, I got this. So there's different ways of doing that. So what you do is now you use the setup statement. Now you have your setup statement, and you tap on the side of your hand 3 times, or you tap on the side of the hand while saying that statement 3 times. So even though I am angry in my chest about this thing that happened, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm feeling angry in my chest about this thing that happened, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm feeling angry in my chest about when my boss did blah, 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 right? I deeply and completely accept myself. And then when you go to the top of your head, you don't have to say the whole thing. You could just say, this anger in my chest. That's your reminder phrase. this anger in my chest, 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 this anger in my chest. And then you tune back in and you re-rate that anger. Has that anger gone down? Is it still a 6? Has it shifted maybe where you feel it in your body? So it may have felt like a 6 in my chest, but now it feels like a 4 in my throat. And so what I do is then I adjust the setup statement and do another round. The goal here is to get to 0. You need to get to a place where you feel basically neutral about whatever it is. So I'll keep tapping again, even though now I feel this anger in my throat about when my boss did ... I deeply and completely accept myself. I say that 3 times here, top of the head, this anger that's now in my throat, 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 this anger that's now in my throat. And then I re-rate myself again. So the goal is to get to 0. And what may happen is that other memories come up or something else comes up while you're tapping. Like, let's say my numbers won't go down. And sometimes you're just focused on maybe the way your boss talked to you or the way your boss looked at you. So use that as you tap. So even though I feel angry in my throat and all I could think about is when my boss looked at me with those beady eyes and said, I deeply and completely accept myself. That is how you reduce it. The more specific you get, the better results you'll have. And I think the one thing that I want to leave you all with is a disclaimer. You should not be working on big traumas by yourself. So big traumas are, any kind of abuse, physical, sexual, any kind of violence that you've witnessed or have been subject to, even an accident. So if you were in a car accident or any other kind of accident, those are all considered big T traumas. You need to save those for a practitioner. But also, sometimes while you're doing this work, you'll notice that there might be an issue that you can't seem to, you're kind of stuck in. That's where a practitioner comes in, because what I do with you is I work with you and we may start doing kind of more the basic tapping sequence, but my goal is to start kind of discovering where there are other memories as they come up, or whether there are limiting beliefs that are rooted within those memories or the things that you're tapping on, and whether these things are connected to other past events. And so I will actually use more advanced techniques to be able to safely help you clear those, especially when they're traumatic events. When I work, on traumas, it's a whole different way that we approach them. Obviously, you have to do so gently, safely, and in a manner that really just, honors the person's experience and makes sure that they're being held, the space is being held for that person. So with that, I just wanted to leave you with that. Now you know how to tap, and feel free, if you have any questions, to just kind of hit me up. Now I feel like I'm all red right here now because I've been tapping on my collarbones and I have sensitive skin. But sometimes if I'm tapping or if I get like this, it's because I'm holding on to some emotion. And once I start tapping, I actually clear that emotion and this kind of goes away. So that's another thing that's just something that I know about myself. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be coming back with more specific videos in the future about how to tap on very specific things. Thank you.